Kingsley. Kingsley. Do you notice something? What did you notice? Eh? Did you hear? What did he say? He didn't hear me. But when she came close, what happened? My voice was no more for me to shout. The Lord said, there's many of us are like that. You're not hearing me because you're far away from me. I've been calling and calling and calling and calling. You're not listening because you're not too close. When you're too close, I don't need to shout. Sit down. Distance makes the voice of God to be a little bit strange. There's so many things that distracting us that is making us not to hear God's voice. When you're close to somebody, you don't need to shout. You will hear the voice loud. You don't need to strengthen your voice. God said, I've been strengthening my voice to some of us here, but you're not listening, you're not hearing me because you're far away from me. Coming to church does not mean you are too close to God. If coming to church makes us too close to God, everybody will be close to Jesus. You see, church is for everybody. But it's only you that know the relationship you have with your God as an individual. In the church, I don't know whom I'm talking to. God is bringing us here for us to dance to joy. The greatest dance you can dance. And when you hear his voice to direct you, to speak to you, do you know when God speaks to you, you will not make mistake? If there's anything you need to do at this month, is to seek his face. Let him direct you. Let him lead you. Many of us have been leading ourselves, but allow him to lead you. Allow him to direct you. Things are going to take extra change. When you allow him to take over, something extraordinary is going to happen. Are you hearing me this morning? Are you hearing me this morning? I don't know why I'm going this way. I don't know why. Do you know the time of COVID? Do you know the time of COVID? I was stuck in London. After ministry, that was 2009, ending 2020. I finished my program going back to US. I stopped in London to speak on the places they invited me. After I finished preaching, they said there was no movement. So I thought that could be something that would last about a week. I was in London for almost a year. If I had no paper in London, I could have stuck. But thank God I had a paper. That's what God has to bless you to have dual citizens. What did I say? What does that mean? So many people that came there with visa, they were stuck. They were crying. Because you know what it means. So what am I trying to say? Church was not opening. Almost everything closed. I was praying and asking God why. Listen, please, I want you to be attentive to me, please. Please, I beg you. If there's nothing you hear, hear this. Then the Lord used Moses to describe something to me. He said, God allowed the COVID to come for the church to lock in and come back as a brand new church. But church didn't see it that way. Church thought it was just an ordinary lockdown because most of what we preach in the pulpit was not what Jesus was preaching. I have found out sometimes, the more we go to church, the more we become so wicked. Most of our messages are not changing lives. The Lord told me that, do you know what is happening? The church can control it. But the problem, the church has so much compromise. You don't even know who is the church member or unbeliever. Do business with a Christian and do business with unbeliever and see who is a Christian or not. There's no change. Somehow, God had been calling the attention of the church. Church was not listening. I went to a town somewhere, I don't want to mention. God said to me, what you see here is materialism, competition. Who owns the best house? Who owns the best church? But not after who is in the church. People that came. Building is important, but people inside is more important. Sometimes we have so much focus on the building, not on the soul God brought to us. The Lord said to me, when Moses was in the land of Egypt, he was called to be a leader, but he went ahead of God by killing an Egyptian based on the fight they saw them fighting. He said, let me rescue this one. After he did that nobody saw it. He went away again to go and do the same thing. Somebody said, you want to kill me the same way you killed the other person? He said, people have known this, so. He was on run. Listen, get me. He was running. And God was trying to get his attention, but he was not listening. To the extent that the Bible said God led Moses to the wilderness. It was not sin. Oh. God led Moses to where? So some of the wilderness we are now, not because you sin sometimes. Sometimes God put you there to get his attention. Even in the wilderness, Moses was not listening. Then God used something like burning bush in the wilderness, and the thing was not burning, was not consumed. Moses said, let me go and look. It was there that God got attention of Moses. God allowed the COVID to come to get the attention of the church, but still church, they was not listening. We came back, and the same way we are. My prayer that today, that God will touch the church once again. That God will revive the church. Let us understand where we are here. Let us understand our respond now. He watched me in my mouth. This girl is sweeping the church. But I won't say it to her. But if you have come and sat down, you can be coming to church 20 years, 30 years. Nobody will know who you are. How many of you know that? I mean, it is when you are in assignment, you get noticed. This young lady, she came to church doing nothing. Somebody motivated her to find something to do in the church. You know what she was doing? She was cleaning the church toilet. Most commonest thing. After people poo, she would go and clean it, dust it. For years, it was where that her husband saw her. It was easy. Are you listening to me? Are you listening to me? Church, are you listening to me? Church, are you listening to me? Find something to do. What did I say? What did I say? What did I say?